Yeah.
Woo!
Oh snap! Kung Fu Santa's got the shirt. He's got who is that?
Wait a minute.
Superman.
Hold on.
Oh, okay. I don't know who is that.
Who's who?
You took the glasses off. Who are you? Oh shit!
Nice.
What is going on, Movie Dojo Army chat? Everybody watching right now. Today's verses. This is episode 17 up in the house. That's right. The Kung Fu Justice League has returned. That's right, because we're doing DC movies today. Can't do Kung Fu Avengers. Got special guest today, FJ DeSanto. He may pop in late, but he's doing his filmmaking thing. We all understand, but we'll give him a shout out because he's a cool dude. He may pop in later to give his vote, but it will be fun to see him if he does pop up. But who do we have here? Rick Myers himself, Kung Fu Santa. That's right. Author of Films of Fury and also other awesome works. That's right. And also in the house, we got the Sexy Sumo back on the channel. How you doing, my friend?
Fantastic.
Doing fantastic?
Oh, yeah.
How did you feel about this particular verses? How did you feel?
Nervous.
Yeah?
You know, I'm hanging out with a bunch of awesome people that are full of knowledge, man. And like
you don't have to be nice. I know you were excited. I know this was your reaction.
That's exactly.
Oh my god!
It's all right, man. Loosen up. It's all good. We know you're excited because we love us some bats. We love us some soups. You know.
Can I borrow that?
Yes. Yes, you can.
I'm yes. He's gonna be. I'm using that.
TM, brother.
I'm gonna use that.
Yes, you can use that. Yes. But it's awesome having you here, my brother Sumo. And oh shit, Rob returning.
Oh, yeah. Hi.
That's right.
How are
Back from Entertainment Talk Nation.
I am so excited to be here after my stream. I got to be honest with you. There was
Nice.
the stream was great, but it ended on a very concerning note. There were just a couple of people. You know, obviously the nation is fantastic.
Yeah.
But there were some people, Mike Gonzalez, who were just absolutely brain dead, Mike Gonzalez. And some of them are present here, Mike Gonzalez.
Uh-huh.
And they give me fear for the future of humanity. Because this is what we call Mike Gonzalez, the next generation. And I am very concerned.
You're very concerned.
Very concerned.
Well,
So-
on a positive note, it is awesome to have you back here, brother. That's right. Entertainment Talk Nation YouTube channel, getting popular, getting better. That's right. You're killing them with the views, man. You are racing
Oh,
to
shit.
the top, my friend.
Oh, look at that. What a surprise. Look at that big head guy.
Look at that. Racing to the top. Racing to success. That's right. Keep doing your thing. That's right. And also, we got Actor. That's right. Mr. Actor here. Tony of the Dead in the house. Coming out soon with Night of the Axe 72. Not all killers can be seen. Yeah.
Nice.
That's right. Upcoming projects from Tony. It's great to have him back here on the channel. And of course, you know, the beloved Master of Remaster, Frank Jang in the house. That's right. Don't forget Time and Tide is coming out from Eureka. Make sure you guys pick up the Batacity. That is Time and Tide.
Damn
All
it.
right.
You know, I can't wait to see that stuff, honestly. And had I known you were promoting, I got to send you a copy of my book, and I keep forgetting.
Yeah, next time we'll get your book in here.
Next time.
Yeah. And of course, director of Blood Brothers. That's right, the filmmaker himself, Master Chaos, back on the channel. Thank you, my friend, for showing up to talk movies. And it looks like you're already ready and set to vote for Batman.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I
It's
went
very
with the
obvious.
I'm split. I'm split down the middle. I had to say it.
Sure you are.
Oh man, this is going to be a blast. This is going to be a lot of fun. And Rick again knocked it out of the park, picking two verses of two beloved movies. But these make for the best versus episodes, the ones that are really difficult to do. But we got the Movie Dojo Army in the house. Phat.17, Eric Planter, John Martinez, Tyler. That's right. Goji, Alan Mullins, Boston, There's too many here. 48 badasses already watching. I'm not going to go through everybody's name, but it's awesome that everyone is here to watch it go down. That's right. Two titans are about to collide, son. Which one is the samurai going to choose? I don't know. We got Batman tattoo over here. Oh, shit. What's up? What? We got Superman tattoo on this side. Holy moly. Guacamole. What's going down? We about to get into it here. So, Superman. Oh, what you got there, Rick? You got some goodies.
Wait, show us, right?
He's saving it.
Okay.
I feel like I'm in the wrong stream with a Captain America shield behind me.
It's fine. Representing superhero movies. It's all good. That's right. So, all right, let's go ahead and get into it here. Everybody knows how Versus goes. If you're new to Versus that is watching right now, there will be spoilers. These movies have been out for a while. It's all good.
More than a while.
Yeah, more than a while. All right, so I'm gonna go. We'll go ahead and do Superman 1978 first, directed by Richard Donner, starring the beloved Christopher Reeve, Margot Kidder, Gene Hackman. That's right, the Hackman, the legend himself. Oh, look at that memorabilia there. Ooh, love it. And I'm gonna be honest, I might get a lot of hate. But we're here to be honest.
Every week.
I'm just saying.
I don't think this is a movie pair you could get hate on no matter which one you pick.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
No, this is the internet. You'll get hate on anything.
That's true.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest. So, when I was young, I was a little samurai, this movie bored the shit out of me. I'm going to be honest. Every time I was a little samurai watching TV, I was like, oh, Superman. Yeah, Superman's flying around. And then nothing else was happening. I was just always falling asleep. My nostalgic favorite is Superman 2. That's right. Electric Boogaloo. I love Terrence Stamp as Zod. Kneel before Zod. That'll be a whole other stream. Maybe we'll get Superman 2 versus on here in the future. Now, I know over time, everyone pretty much admits that as an overall film, the first Superman is better than Superman 2. Plus, I'm sure Rick will go into the behind-the-scenes controversy with what happened with Richard Donner, and he was replaced by Richard Lester. And, comedy, we had comedy hijinks in Superman 2, but that's for another stream. But I loved Superman 2. I couldn't get enough of it. I still love it. It's one of my favorites of all time. So, over time, as I got older, I got a little bit more matured, if you can believe that or not. I watched Superman again on DVD, and I started to look at it a little bit. Superman the movie. I started looking at it a little differently. Still didn't love it though. Then when it came out on Blu-ray, I sat down and watched it again. And it started to grow on me. Because at this time, I'm older, I have a lot more patience for movies. And so I'm like, all right, let me give this a shot. I already know it's not going to be like one of those nonstop action thrill ride type movies. Let me just watch it and appreciate the filmmaking craft here. And I started to love it a lot more. And I ended up really loving it to the point where I ran out and bought the 4K version of it recently. And, it's actually one of my favorite superhero movies now. And Lady Fat Blood loves it. Just for fun, last year, I was feeling a little retro, and I came across a record store that was selling VHS tapes. And I was just going to put this on the shelf. I actually got the original Superman clamshell just for fun, VHS tape, just to put on the shelf over here. And I love this movie. I like it a lot. I do have a little issues with it, but things have changed, just put it that way. From older samurai now than young little samurai going, this is boring. Things have changed. I have a lot of respect for it. I love the beginning of the movie when it's just the curtains, like you're watching a stage play or Broadway, and it slowly parts open, and in the middle it's all in black and white, and the kids looking at the action comics, and then it opens up to the actual film. You have the iconic John Williams music. We actually went to John Williams' concert several years back, and he played his favorites. And when he played that iconic Superman theme song, I was getting chills. I was getting chills hearing that. And I have a lot of love for the film. And, chemistry. I'm going to get on it right here. Chemistry. Reeve and Margot Kidder, great. Great in the movie. She is adorable in this movie.
Yeah,
and a lot of the things that people complained about Man of Steel and BVS Schneider is there was absolutely no chemistry between Amy Adams and Henry Cavill. Now, of course, that's debatable, and that's for another stream. We will save that.
No.
But no,
Nobody
I
cares when you
like
can
Man of
look at.
Steel. I like Man of Steel, but that's to say that's another stream here.
Nobody cares
But-
if you have him. If you have him as Superman, nobody's looking at her.
But anyway, they had great chemistry. I love them in the movie. And Hackman, a lot of people complain about this Luthor. They're like, well, this Luthor is a stupid real estate comedic take on him. He's not a scientist. There are some complaints about this Luthor, and I'm like, okay, even if he's a comedic real estate agent, if that's what you want to call him, Gene Hackman kills it. Gene Hackman, with all his charisma, kills it as this interpretation of Lex Luthor. Some of the best lines in the movie. Of course, I'm going to botch him. I'm going to botch them right now. But one of the best lines when he's hanging out with his minion and Miss Taskmaster, and he's hanging out with them, and he's all like, he's like, how does it feel to feel a bolt of a bolt of electricity every time you're in a room with me alone? Like there's all kinds of lines like that. Or when Superman's like, you get your rocks off by planning to kill people, and Luthor goes, I get my rocks off when I kill people. Like there's some really good lines in here that I kind of botched, but he's fantastic in the movie. He's great, and I respect this movie. I have a lot of respect for this film, and for me, it has aged well. And the only one thing nitpick, because it's me, is when he's flying around with Lois Lane, and they got to play the theme song, and we got to have the love, right? That's fine. But when she's inner monologuing, can you read my mind? When all that is the fast forward part of the movie. That has always been it's like when you watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, right? And everyone loves the songs, but everyone hates when Charlie's mother sings. Everyone fast forwards that song, right? So that's that part. But I can't really think of a lot of nitpicks. I mean, in terms of negative things, I can't really think off the top of my head. But I really enjoy it. I don't want to talk too much. We'll go ahead and send it to Rob. Rob, Superman, positives, negatives.
Oh, I have no negatives. Sorry. I have no negatives. I love this movie from when I was a kid. I still watch it now from time to time. I am a big Man of Steel fan, but Christopher Reeve will always be the epitome of what Superman is.
Yes.
What I love about this movie over even most of the modern day is that this is the traditional, we're at a time now where the anti-heroes or the heroes that cross the line a little bit are like the big deal now, or even villains to a certain extent, as everybody's into like villain heroes, like Invincible is real popular, The Boys is real popular, but the whole truth, justice, and American way, I love that. I will always love that. I don't care how dorky people think it is. This movie, from beginning to end, and it's a slow build. It starts off slow. He's a kid. He's in high school. It takes about a good 45 minutes before you first see him become Superman. But when he does, the payoff is so incredible. The moment that he reveals himself to the world, he saves Lois. He's holding the helicopter in one hand, Lois in the other. I mean, the music is absolutely epic and iconic. I know we haven't gotten into Batman yet, but if I have to give one thing immediately to this movie over Batman, is the Superman theme song. Will always be iconic and just completely trumps the Batman theme song. No disrespect to Danny Elfman, because he's one of my favorite composers, but this movie, every time I watch it, does not fail to give me chills in certain moments. Christopher Reeves is just inspiring to watch. He's very charming. You believe he's Superman. That's the amazing thing. Even when he's an actor playing a role, you believe he is Superman. Like, there's nothing else, and God bless the guy, but from that point forward, you could never see him in another role, and that's in some ways unfortunate, because you want somebody wants their career to expand, but it's hard. He did such a great job. This is a movie I love to go back to a lot of times, especially with how heavy comic book movies are now, because while I love them, they miss a lot of what this movie does that makes it work so well, which is just that ultimate good person in the face of evil, person you can rely on, a person who has the power but also has the compassion to do the right thing. I think we lose a lot of that now. even in entertainment. So it's always a movie I like to go back and hark on. In terms of the characters, I love, Mr. Luther, love that. And it's surprisingly, there's some shots in this movie that are, even when you consider how, I guess if you want to call it kid friendly, I mean, they show Soup's wee wee when he's a baby, right? You would never see that now. That one scene where he goes to Luther's hideout, and then the guy tries to follow him, and he's standing in front of the platform, and then it pushes him out. And that's a pretty grotesque death. You know what I mean? So there's some slightly dark elements here when you think about that. And then what happens at the end? When he flies around the world, and you just get that fire. You see the level of his power and what he's able to do. I mean, Superman is my favorite DC comic hero, and this is the reason why. This is the movie that got me into Superman, and I've never looked back since. It's one of my favorite superheroes.
Nice. All right, Tony.
Ditto.
All right.
Very eloquent.
Yeah. To be honest, this is like my least favorite of the original fours, to be honest.
Okay.
The part where he like screams because of Lois and that part gives me chills.
Yeah.
Like you can feel his pain and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's like awesome. I think what I know Rob said about like the goodness and everything. I'm more for the newer stuff where it's like not so goody two shoe,
Okay.
I'm one of those people that said they found it boring, because the beginning takes a while to get to it. Not that I don't like the movie, but it's just not one of my favorites. I've always been. I was told my wife today about it. I said about part 3, where the machine brings that girl into the machine, turns her into a robot. That freaked the hell out of me when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, that was nightmare.
Like
fuel.
that scared the shit out of me. Like, oh my god. But I do like Gene Hackman as him. Is like I like seeing different interpretations of characters. Like I like him as Lex Luthor. I didn't really see Superman Returns too many times to like really compare to Kevin Spacey, but like I like what's his name as Lex Luthor now in small the hell's his name?
Was that from the Arrowverse?
Is that Michael?
Yeah.
Rosenbaum?
Who is it?
Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville.
I like Michael Rosenbaum is my favorite, but I'm like the guy from 2.5 Men. Ferris Bueller.
He played Lex Luthor's nephew in the 4th movie, right?
Yeah, him. He does a phenomenal job as well. So I like seeing different Gene Hackmans. Different Gene Hackmans, different Lex Luthor.
There's more than one.
There's more. There's a whole bunch. There's a whole multiverse of them. But yeah, I mean, Christopher Reeve is to me Superman. I will agree with that. I don't know. I'm all over the place. I like the movie, but it's not my favorite of them.
John Cryer, that's his name.
John Cryer, yeah, I think he does a great job.
Yeah, everyone's been saying that. I haven't kept up with the Arrowverse, but they're saying his version of Lex Luthor is really good.
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool.
Like the part where you think that they're gonna turn, like you could trust them, and it's like that you can't trust them, but maybe he turned a new. No, he's Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
but Michael Rosenbaum is great in Smallville.
Wasn't John Cryer on like Superman 3 or 4?
The 4th one.
Yeah, in the 4th one,
his nephew. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah. Copy that. Chaos Soups.
Well, okay, so we're debating the first movie. I sort of want to. For me, it's going to be Batman versus Superman, the characters, not so much the movies.
Sure.
Not to bring the mood down, but I lost my parents when I was 5 years old, and Superman 2 is the only movie I remember seeing with my father. And I remember sitting in that theater. That's the moment that I said, I'm going to be a filmmaker. I want to do this. And so everybody cheering and clapping. Everybody was so happy and excited. And It's like, fuck, man, that's real magic. I want to do that. So Superman has become, to me, a complete inspiration, not just because, he stands for truth and justice, and everybody should just be good to each other and be kind, but because he inspired me to be a filmmaker and to follow a certain career. So to me, Superman means more than whatever the behind the scenes drama was, whatever the comparisons are to modern day Superman and stuff like that. The character is important to me, and the movies, yes, they're dated. They do feel a little. I can see how. I just showed my son Man of Steel, and he loved it. I haven't shown him the older ones because I feel like he might think they're a little lame. He probably will still love it, but audiences changes, tastes change.
Right.
So, I honestly have no negatives to the movie. I don't like that the thing you mentioned, PSG, about Lois floating and when they're flying, and she's the whole voiceover thing is
that's
cheeseball.
You got to forward it.
But the movie is the definitive superhero movie. I mean, you can't say without it there would be no superhero movies. I think that's the one that everyone goes, oh shit. Okay, so this is how we can do it in a realistic way and in a way it's like, well, it's gonna make money. Let's do that. Batman is sort of in the same boat. But for me, Superman means so much more beyond the movies. So, I have no negatives. I think it's an important film. I think it's a wonderful film. The franchise in general. I even like Part 4. I think it's fine. I mean, it's whatever. Yeah, no negatives, all positives. Right. Superman means the world to me. Before I made my first movie, I got a Superman tattoo, right, to remind me of where it all began. So, nice. So I share that ink with you, PSG.
Nice.
That's me. Those are my thoughts on Superman.
Nice, Rick. I have a question for you, but we'll wait till we get to you. Frank, Soups.
Like you, I watched Superman 2 first, and then. Yeah, and I love that film. I thought it was great. It was fantastic. It's funny. I love the villains and Zod and the gang. I mean, it's just all great. I mean, that film was all great. And and it was only like 2 years after I saw Superman 2, then I saw the first film. Like, it always has a special place in me too, because this was the last Hollywood film I saw before I came to the U.S. So this film always has a little special place in my heart. I mean, I think this is a landmark film. I mean, this is a iconic film. Is very, it has a very important place in the history of superhero movies. There's perfect casting. You have Reeves, you have Kidder, you have Brando. I mean, you have who played the Glenn Ford, who played Jonathan Kent. I mean, that was, and then that whole the whole first hour, even though Superman really, like somebody said, he really didn't show up until like an hour in the film. To me, that whole hour build up was just absolutely epic. To see the planet, you have the planet getting destroyed, and then to have Superman landed in, Smallville, and him growing up. You saw, Uncle Kent passing away, with a heart attack. I mean, that was just all great stuff, And even there's no superhero element in that whole first hour, maybe a little with the kryptonite planet thing, but that whole part, it's like a separate film by itself. It was so good. And then Superman shows up, and Clark Kent, and like I said, Reeves with perfect casting, and then that whole helicopter rescue sequence is tension filled. The villains, they're a little bit cartoonish, but I think Gene Hackman really does a good job in presenting menace without looking menacing. On the surface he may not look as scary, but you do scare. You do feel a bit scared about him, and then. That whole part in the end with the earthquake and him going back in time to save Lewis, that's I mean, as a kid, that was pretty stirring stuff, and of course the iconic music, John Williams music. I don't have any negative to say about it. I mean, there was some exaggerated humor with Miss Teschmacher and all that, but then it's just a small price to pay when this entire film is just so so iconic and it's so well done. And I also like the fact that there's so many versions of this film. I have the 4K, I have that whole box set, but then you also have this one, right, with the TV cut, with the this special edition cut. So it kind of makes it really special. It's like, this is an epic film. You have all these different lengths, different versions. And, I just cherish watching all these different versions, seeing, this scene was here, this scene was in there. So it's almost like every time I rewatch this film, I see something new. And as much as I even like Superman Returns, to be honest with you, I thought that's actually a pretty nice film. I know Rick will be. I know. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you. I think the flying scene in Superman Returns, I actually prefer the flying scene in Superman Returns a little bit more than the flying scene here. Like Samurai said, that part where Margaret Kidder little voiceover thing, corny. But then you watch that flyover scene in Superman Returns. It kind of tucked my heartstrings remember when they flew by her house. And then she saw her house with the airplane and stuff. That to me, that was actually a very nice touch, and that whole scene was just so well done, the music and everything. But yeah, I mean, this film, no question about it. I mean, this is an important film, and to me, still the best of the four. I mean, not best of the four. I think Superman 2 is equally good, equally entertaining.
Yeah.
But I mean, without this film, we probably wouldn't have all these superhero movies, right now. So
it's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Did anyone else enjoy the interview scene?
I did. I thought it was pretty good. I like that part.
I'm surprised. I ended up liking this scene a lot more than usually a scene like this I wouldn't care, but I actually enjoyed that scene because it was like, oh, we got some jokes in here for Mama and Daddy. I see. Like Superman was a little pimp right there. He's like, you got a man? You got a man? He's like, I mean, you got a woman? And he's all like, well, not right now, but you be the first one to know, Like Superman was a little pimp in that scene, So he's like, hey, we got all these see-through powers. All right, what kind of underwear am I wearing? He's like, pink. Oh, did I embarrass you? Oh, I see what you're doing there, Richard. Little jokes in there for Mom and Daddy. I like it. Yeah, but it was fun. But that scene after the interview where he flies away, and then the camera turns. And then it follows Lois in her apartment, and then Clark is at the door. That was like one take.
Yeah.
Didn't even know how they did that.
He's Superman. That's how they did it.
That was pretty
Magic.
impressive, though. Yeah,
Magic.
All right, Sumo.
Like everybody else, I mean, there's really no negatives to this movie. I mean, I know that a lot of people love Superman 2. Why? Because it's more action packed. With the massive fights with Zod and the other two supervillains.
Superman.
Yeah.
I love that.
He actually cares for these people, like pets. I
Look,
suppose so.
They need
great.
machines to fly.
Yeah.
Oh God, Zod.
It will kill you.
Yeah.
That was good stuff, man. But going with the first one, I saw the first one when. You guys remember when they used to do the Sunday night movie premieres on Channel 7 or Channel 4?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's the first time I saw it. So if anything, I saw the TV cut first. And as a kid, I'm just like, wow, this is really good. Of course, like you guys mentioned, it got a little boring from time to time. But when you see the good action scenes in there, it was really good. And I think I saw it maybe about a quarter of the way in because I missed the beginning of it. So watching it on Blu-ray eventually, I ended up liking the whole intro, even though they made it look like the old comic book funnies, right? Where it's just one regular square screen showing the black and white, kids getting the comic books, and it's giving that old voiceover with the radio show guy, right? Oh, look at here, Daily Planet, like that. So watching that was really neat, and then of course when it pans out, and then you hear the beginning credits of the song playing, and it seemed like the credits went on for like 20 minutes. Right, it just went on forever until finally they went to the scene where Marlon Brando and doing the trial for Zod, which was really cool because you get to see Zod before he makes his appearance on part 2. It was really cool. Did it have any flaws? I mean, it wasn't a perfect movie. It was 1978, practical effects. I love the fact that it's all practical effects, right? No CGI back then, really. A lot of miniature sets, and then going forward to Batman, eventually the sets get better, right? The little midget, and then of course Peter Jackson blows everybody away with the miniature sets, but that's a whole other thing. Some of the scales were a little off, like the scene where they finally launch Kal-El on the little pod. It seemed like the pod itself was way bigger than the actual dome they were in, because it was flying away, and I was like, well, that's kind of weird. but other than that, some of the scenes, it's funny when the running scene you showed, where Clark Kent was running against the train.
Mhm.
It reminded me a lot of it reminded me of Wonder Woman 84. That's exactly how she was running in Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's, I mean, like, why? With the whole,
God, that movie's so bad.
but the fact that we're so advanced in the special effects market, you would think they would do a better job with the run. But that's just me nitpicking. Other than that, the whole story alone was really good. It made you feel really good when you're watching this movie. Why? Because it's just something you see as a kid and you grow with it, and you just learn to love it really, really, really a lot. And then obviously Man of Steel came out, and it's like it blew me away, right? Why? Because it's a darker version of Superman.
Yeah.
But you always have that one special place for the old classic. Why? Because you grew up with it, and and like I said, I love the first one. Obviously, the second one was great. Third one was, I have to rewatch it again, but it's been a while.
No.
And then the quest for peace, it was like, So yeah,
it's the third one did something impressive. It made Richard Pryor unfunny. That's what the third. I didn't think that was possible.
I just love seeing
Third one's good.
I just
Bad
like
vibrations?
Man drunk.
Bad vibrations.
Watching Man drunk is classic.
Third one's fun.
I do want to point out one thing. I mean, it's like funny that Sexy Sumo mentioned Wonder Woman. I always felt that Wonder Woman 1984 was like Patty Jenkins' version of like, what if I shoot this film to make it kind of look like a mirror image of this original Superman? Right? Regardless of how bad it was, like boring or what have you. But when I watched that film, it just kept reminding me of the first Superman. It just like this felt just like watching the first Superman. It's just the way she shot this film. So I just want to point that out.
Yeah,
I have yet to see that one.
Yeah, I can see the
Gotta
similarity.
stop doing homages. I mean, Daniel Craig kept on saying that which one was it that was his homage to Live and Let Die and Roger Moore? It's like, you got to stop doing homages, guys, just because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, copy that.
Yeah.
All right, so Sumo, you overall you love it.
Overall, it was a great movie. Like I said, it holds a special place in your heart because it was just so many cool things about it.
Yeah, and Hackman again killed it, and I think Hackman and Soups killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Both of these actors.
I mean, you can tell he's still a big criminal mastermind.
Fantastic job with performances.
It was good.
Yeah.
Is he retired? Is Gene Hackman retired?
Yes. He's a writer though. He's still writing books.
Oh. Okay. All right. But you got to love. He knocked it out of the park with with both characters. Love the bumbling Clark in this one. Only he could do it.
Absolutely.
Perfect casting.
All right, Rick. I just have a question. I know you're going to go into all the behind the scenes stuff, which is fun.
Yep.
So, Richard Donner obviously is a genius. I'm a fan of his work. Was he overly ambitious? Is that what happened?
No,
because how was Superman 1 and 2 supposed to be one movie? That's
just
insane.
like the Three Musketeers. The same producers did the Three Musketeers.
Oh,
and they did that as one movie, and then they split it into two without telling the cast. The cast thought it was going to be one movie, so they had to sue them to get the extra for the two money. So they decided to continue in that vein. That's also where they made and also Richard Lester was brought onto the Superman set. Well, let me answer your question.
Sure.
It wasn't over ambition. It was two producers who didn't give a shit about the movie. And when Richard Donner came in and said, I'm going to do this brilliantly, they fought him at every single turn to the point where their conversation broke down and they had to bring in Richard Lester. And Richard Lester, who directed Three Musketeers and the Beatles movies and all that stuff, who I saw on the set and just went crazy because I loved his work and I didn't know what he was doing there. It turns out that he came back not to follow the producers' rules, but because the producers owed him money for the 3 and 4 Musketeers. And they said, well, if you come back and serve as a person in between Donner and us, then we'll get you your money. So we went, okay. and he came back onto the set. So what happened was every flaw in that movie was because of the fight that he was having with the producers to do a great job. And so, I mean, that scene with racing the train, where they just had to say, ultimately they had to throw up their hands and say, put him on a wire and we'll bounce him. They did that because they were running out of money and running out of time. And that led to other things. Now it's my turn, right?
Yes.
I can't remember why I became Starlog's correspondent to Superman, but I did. I was working for Starlog magazine at the time, and they assigned me Superman. And the first thing they did was send me to England to be on the set for somewhere between 2 weeks and a month.
Wow.
I was on the set at Pinewood Studios for all the scenes with Gene Hackman and Lex Luthor's lair under Grand Central Station. And also all the scenes in the Fortress of Solitude, which was on the 007 stage.
That's pretty cool.
And I went there with my wife or my fiance. I can't remember who it was at the time. She was fiance, eventually be wife or already wife. And we stayed at a bed and breakfast in a place called Ivor Heath. And then every single morning we were picked up and brought to Pinewood Studios, and I got to be on the set. And and it just kills me. I met everybody. I was with everybody, but because it was a union set and it was an English set, couldn't take pictures. We snuck one picture of me with the helicopter, the Daily Planet helicopter, after they had filmed that scene. Not the full-size one, because they also did a lot of miniatures, but I was and there's a shot of me, and Melissa, my fiance / later to be wife, I remember, you can see me in the picture sort of like saying stuff to her because I'm going, hurry, hurry. If they catch us taking this picture, we're dead. So in any case, so this is look at the stationery. This is the letter that Richard Donner sent me, thanking me for doing the great reporting. And well, there it is. Yeah. Don't read the address. I don't live there anymore, but other people do now, so I don't want them to get in trouble. Take that one down quick. Yeah, don't let everybody. It's too late now. They'll be getting people will be throwing stuff at them. So again, I talked to everybody. I had a wonderful time. I became very good friends with Christopher Reeve. And there's a great Gene Hackman story. In Lex Luthor's lair, you didn't see most of it. But I did, because I was right there. And but in some of the shots, if you look carefully, on Lex Luthor's piano, he has all these little pictures, all these little framed pictures. And they're all pictures of the famous villains of history. They're all, Mussolini and Hitler and, all these other ones. But he had a little circular frame with a picture of him in it from The Conversation, the part he played in the Francis.
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I love that movie. So Gene Hackman is over on the other side of the piano, and I'm in my little, reporter's place. I'm far away. But then I just point at the picture and go, man, I love that movie. You were great. And he perked up. And I started asking him how he would prepare for a part like that versus a part like this. Because the reason whoever of you think he was so great in the movie, Phat Samurai, you're right, because he is one of the greatest actors of all time. And he can play a part like that and just give it this, for him, this is what he was explaining to me. For him, he doesn't believe what those other actors say is that you have to like your character and you have to think your character. If you're a villain, you have to play it as if you think you're right. He says that's bullshit. No, you just have to understand why he's doing what he's doing. And he has to take it, for him, being a villain was a job. And he just wanted to do it the best he could. So he came up with this plan, and now he has to do it. And that is that. And he just does that perfectly. Now, you guys all watched it. It's very important when you watch it. I was at the premiere. I saw it being made. I knew, because I was born in 1953, and I grew up, and I knew that this was the first serious superhero movie. There had been other Superman movies. There had been the George Reeves Superman versus the Mole Men. There was the serial back in the 40s. I mean, they've done other superhero movies, but they always did them as this is good enough for garbage. This stuff is for people who don't care about what they're good. We used to have a great game that we would play when, if the studios back in the 40s took superheroes seriously, who they would have really cast. Humphrey Bogart as the Joker, Cary Grant as Superman. If they had done it legitimately. But this was the first one serious. And the thing that I loved when I came onto the set is all over Pinewood Studios, Richard Donner had put up huge banners, not little signs, huge banners that said verisimilitude. You know what that word means? That means make it real. Do it as real as we can. So I saw that and I'm just going, oh, this is going to be so great. Finally, the movie I've always waited for. And again, all the flaws were because of the rushed schedule. Now, I'm watching the Lex Luthor sequences. It's blowing my mind. I said, this is going to be the greatest ever. Because when I was at Lex Luthor's henchman was played by Peter Boyle. The guy who co-starred, Peter Boyle, the guy who played young Frankenstein, who Gene Hackman had a cameo in as the blind man. I said, it's a reunion of young Frankenstein. And Peter Boyle played this big, hulking, silent henchman who was just amazing. And it was perfect because Luthor was a talker. The henchman, I forgot his name, it wasn't us, didn't talk, never spoke, just was like dangerous. He was Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And it was perfect combination. And I'm going, this is definitely up. And I'm in Christopher Reeve's New York apartment the day before the movie premieres. And we're talking, we're having a good time. I love Christopher Reeve because he had been waiting for being a star his whole life. And he answered every question I had as if he had already asked himself that question multiple times. He had the answer ready. And so it was just great to be in the apartment. It was just awesome to see him. He had all his books, and it was a great New York apartment and all this stuff. And I just, at the end, because I had spent all that time with him on the set as well. First time I met him, he was getting his body makeup done. So he comes out with his robe open. So, I see the whole Superman thing. And there's Margot Kidder, and there's who played Miss Teschmacher? I'm blanking on her name. What was it? Whoever played, she was there too.
Valerie Perrine.
Valerie Perrine.
Okay.
Perrine. And she was awesome. And he comes out. So we got along great. And at the end of that interview, because I knew, and I just said, after the premiere tomorrow, we're never going to see each other again. And he went, oh, no, don't be ridiculous. We never saw each other again. Oh. I saw Richard Donner again, and I asked him all the questions you asked. For instance, I went to the premiere, and I loved it. No, I really, 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 really liked it. I just thought it was great. I thought it was great. I did not love it for a couple of reasons. Number one, can you read my mind?
Yes.
I asked Donner, why didn't you have someone great sing that? She doesn't have to say it. It just has to be in her head. She can hear it like music. If they had, with Richard Williams' music and those lyrics, and you would have gotten someone like Maureen McGovern or Cher or anybody to sing that song, classic, Oscar-winning. And he said we didn't have time. That was afterwards. It had a rush, and that was a flaw, but not the flaw that Otis was. Otis. Now the problem, Otis. If Otis had been Asperger's, if Otis had been on the spectrum, that's one thing. My father was the Northeast Regional Northeast Regional Associate. No, what am I saying? He was the vice president of the National Association for Retarded Citizens. My father worked in mental health, retardation, and mental illness his entire career. I grew up amongst what it was known at that time as the trainably retarded. These were all my friends. They were all wonderful Forrest Gumps. They didn't have this ego and this attitude. So if Otis was even like that, that would have been fine with me. But I can assure you, having met everybody on the spectrum and met everybody who was considered mentally handicapped, Otis does not exist. No one like Otis ever has existed, ever will exist. He was a totally false fictional character in a movie that was otherwise totally realistic, except for him.
But I liked him.
You could like him, but that was not what I wanted, and that was not what I was prepared for, and that was not what should have happened if you're going to make a movie with verisimilitude. I love Ned Beatty. I think I've met him a bunch of times. He's an awesome actor. But again, he came in at the last possible second. And by that time, everyone on the crew just could not care less. Just get this thing done. It was like they were all shell-shocked. It was the end of a battle. And they were just having a terrible time. The other thing that was an issue was, for me, the ending was flawed because that was not supposed to be the ending. That was supposed to be the ending for part 2.
Okay. Questions about that. Yeah, okay.
Everyone, he had to rush it for this one, and he wasn't able to do what he wanted to do, which is what I wanted him to do, which was, you may have noticed, at the end of this movie, he goes back. He doesn't turn back time. If he had turned back time, that would have been good, because I had been already writing my science fiction novels and my science fiction film book. He negated time. There were all sorts of things that happened between the time that Lois goes into the pit and that all the other things Superman did before he was late getting to Lois, if you'll recall. He had to save the school bus. He had to save the town. There was all sorts of things he had to do. But when he comes back for Lois, you'll notice she doesn't go into the pit at that point. He just lands next to her car and everything's fine.
Right.
WTF? What would have been awesome, especially if you guys have any knowledge, I'll get the picture later. If you guys have any knowledge of the history of Superman comics, you remember the first cover of the Superman comic. He should have gone back and done all the things he did before, but much faster. He should have gone through each of those things. So by the end of that sequence, I would have been cheering. The audience would have been going nuts because he would have saved everybody, but much faster.
Right.
Then she goes into the pit and she starts getting crushed, and suddenly the car goes and rising out of the chasm with him under the car, just like on Action Comics #1, is him bringing up the car.
Wow.
And that
would have been cool.
I'm already getting chills thinking about how awesome that would have been.
Yeah.
But it wasn't done because of the rush.
Right.
It was interesting. Also, there were a lot of really ultimately pretty lame comedy sequences when they were doing with the military and the tanker truck and all the rest of this stuff. I wound up when I was going back to England for another thing on Pinewood, they showed their cut of Superman. The airline cut was better than any other cut I had seen of Superman 1, because they cut out all the really stupid stuff. And it just works so much better. So to make it clear, let's see. Oh, by the way, it's not corny. It was terrible. I asked Honor about all of this stuff. Oh, yeah, I went to see John Williams at Carnegie Hall, hosted by Martin Scorsese. And when he did Superman, it was just like, but by the way, if you guys have the album, the theme song is awesome, but listen to the Leaving Smallville theme. The Leaving Smallville theme is just it's one of my favorite pieces of movie music of all time.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing. So this movie is so influential because it really is the first, in quotes, except for Otis, serious superhero movie. And you're right, nothing else would have followed. However, nothing else would have followed without this. And then they started to cheapen it. The sequels to me are like Bruceploitation films. They're dancing on the grave of Superman 1 and 2. They're not taking it seriously anymore. And Donner's out of 3 and 4. And it's, now let me see, do I have any other notes of this? No, that's pretty much, if you have any questions specifically about, the premiere was awesome, but I was pissed. And what's awesome about this is that this movie, just as it created Clark Kent, that's why I love having this and doing this, because Superman, the movie, created the Rick you know today. Because without Superman 2, I would not have been sitting in Larry Hama's office at Marvel Comics complaining bitterly about how no studio takes superhero movies seriously.
Wow.
If I had not done that, he would not have brought me The Lightning Swords of Death and Baby Cart in the Land of Demons, followed immediately by Drunken Master and Goose Boxing. And I would never have been here. I would have been sitting in Hollywood in an alley with, needles in my arm. The movie as I exist.
And now I know I would do with a time machine.
Yeah, now you guys keep talking while I get the picture out.
I like that was Rick's two options. It was either like write about martial arts films or get super into drugs.
It's like not expecting that at all.
That was the 70s.
Yeah, let's do
That's cool.
Action Comics is cool.
Nice.
That was an exhibit at the last live San Diego Comic-Con where you can go in and put yourself on the cover of the first Action #1.
Oh, that's fun.
All right, let's
All right. Batman, Tim Burton, 1989, soundtrack by Danny Elfman, starring everyone's, who at the time they said, who the hell was this dude? Why are we getting Beetlejuice to be Batman? Who made this decision? People were not down with it back then. But I think Keaton knocked it out of the park. Jack Nicholson knocked it out of the park as the Joker. Kim Basinger was beautiful in the film. And this is how I discovered Batman in 1989. This is how I did. Did you change? What do we got? Oh, you still changing?
No, I'm still changing.
Okay, I'll keep going. So despite the comic books and despite Super Friends and once in a while again the Batman cartoon here and there, my only live action outlet to Batman at the time was this.
Oh, God.
This was it. This was the shit, though.
That's terrible.
This was the shit when you were a kid. Like this is all I had. This is all I had.
That's garbage.
That's all I had.
I hate that show. I hate
Batman
that show. I'm sorry.
Ordering bat milk. Okay, right? Right. Pulling out the bat shark repellent to blow up the shark. Hey, that's how we did it back in the day. That's all I had.
And all of this with no prep time, and now the argument now is that he can beat anybody with prep time. He didn't have prep time back then, So
He had the Bat
I
Tuesday.
think something else was in that bat milk.
He had the crack pow
I think-
wham.
I think the Joker spiked that bat milk. What y'all think?
Yes.
Anyway, that's all I had. And I remember a very quick, brief TV spot. It was really quick.
Yep.
TV spot of Batman coming down from the rafters through the glass in the museum, and it was really quick. So I didn't really get a chance to see it, and I was like, "What is that?" That's all I seen really. I didn't really know what it was. I was like, I kind of look like Batman. I didn't know what I saw. Then I went to the mall with my family, and my dad was like, "Hey, let's go to the movies. There's some Batman movie out. You want to go see Batman? Let's go see the Batman movie." Right? So I'm like, well, I'm not going to say no, right? I'm like, sure, let's go see the Batman film. Not really know the epicness that I was about to experience in the theater. I went to the theater, sat down, had no idea, wasn't oversaturated with billions of trailers and billions of TV spots. And I sat there, and it got dark. The movie came on, and then opening credits started. And it was something very haunting and epic about that theme song. And I was on the edge of my seat from the beginning to the end. And I had absolutely no idea what I was about to experience in that theater. And I remember, it's one of those, if I made a list, movie theater memories, Batman 1989 is going to go on there. And Little Samurai was in there losing his mind seeing this. Because remember, I was not ready. I was not ready for the epicness. Because this was all I had.
No.
Okay, that's all I had. So I was completely blown away. All the Batmobile scenes, which I still consider to this day, this movie has the best Batmobile out of all the movies.
Agreed.
That's just me. That's just me, though. And I remember when we got to the Batmobile scene, and it was so epic. I remember the theater cheered. The theater cheered when the Batmobile was revealed. And when it was racing, going fast, and the epic music was rising, not only was I on the edge of my seat, I slowly turned to my right. My sisters were on the edge of their seat. I turned to my left, and everybody in this row were all on the edge of their seat watching this movie. Like, we were just like, this is amazing. They busted up laughing at the Jack Nicholson shenanigans. Because, he's like, Jack's being Jack, but he still killed it. I hate it when people go, well, Jack Nicholson just played himself. You mean to tell me he didn't knock it out of the fucking park? Are you serious? You mean to tell me? Yeah, I'm sure a little bit of Jack was in there. But he still knocked it out of the park as the Joker, in my opinion. But that's just my humble opinion. And I did enjoy Heath Ledger's interpretation of Joker as well. But that's for another stream. But love this movie. It's nostalgic. I still get chills, even with this theme song. And the music in this. I got the soundtrack, baby. I got it on LP. You know what I'm saying?
Did you get the Prince soundtrack as well? Did you get the Prince soundtrack as well?
No, I didn't get the Prince soundtrack. Even though that's nostalgic too. I didn't get the Prince soundtrack though. Vicky Vale.
It's funny.
Vicky Vale.
Back then, you didn't watch trailers for it. Now you review trailers.
I know. Times have changed. Times have changed.
Now
That's not my fault. Trailers are everywhere, man. That's just how it is now. But yeah, I absolutely love the film. And you know what else I liked about the film was Batman got his ass kicked. Batman got the shit kicked out of him at the end of the movie. And I love that when heroes go through adversity and they have to fight their way back. I think he got one kick on that guy at the end of the movie. He got one kick. And then other than that, he got beat down, man. That guy beat the shit out of him at the end. That was great. I love stuff like that in movies. I love that kind of stuff. Now here's the thing, Rick and Frank and everyone else. Maybe you can help me out here. But one of the main negatives for BVS and the Snyderverse of Batman, people lost their shit and complained about why Batman is killing people. Did they forget about this film? I think they forgot about this movie.
Yeah.
Because Batman kills motherfuckers through this whole movie.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't think everybody forgot about it.
About that.
Yeah, I'm for both. I'm for the Batman that doesn't want to kill. I'm perfectly fine with that. That's what I grew up with. But I really don't have that big of an issue if he knocks somebody off the building. Like I really don't. I don't have an issue. He's trying to rescue these people, and he explodes this group of bad guys over here with his Batmobile. Don't really have a big deal. But I remember when BVS and the Snyderverse, everybody went nuts. Batman doesn't kill. I was like, you guys completely forgot about 1989. Here, I'll show you this scene right here. Everybody forgot. I'll show you this. Right here.
Oh, yeah.
Drops the bomb. Boom. Everybody in that entire warehouse is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we forget about this?
But they don't show it, though.
They're dead. They're dead.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I'm going to kill you. That's what he's saying right there. I'm going to kill you.
It was metaphorical.
He dropped him into that chemical,
Yeah.
so he basically just left him to die.
I just want to make a point here. Everybody seems to forget this movie. Batman had machine guns and missiles and targeted the Joker and unleashed all hell fury on to kill the Joker. I just want to make sure people are not forgetting about this. Even in Batman Returns, did anybody remember when he put the dynamite on the big guy and blew him up? In Batman Returns, the Batmobile turns around and he sends.
He even smirked when he put that bomb on.
The Batmobile turns around and the fire exhaust burns alive that guy. I'm just making a point. I just want to make a point. Anyway, classic movie. I love it. My only nitpick about it really is a little bit too much of this. I know Tim Burton probably wanted you to go, well, okay, how do we get to know Batman a little bit more? Let's do it through her eyes. And then we find out a little bit more about his backstory. Look, they just had a hookup one night and the whole movie. Why you didn't say where you were going? Why didn't you tell me what you're doing? That was a little annoying. Don't get me wrong, Kim Basinger's gorgeous, okay? But a little bit too much bat simping. Little bit too much simping. And it was like, Alfred was like, they were together for one night. One night. Oh, I love you. It was like, come on, man. And another thing I'm getting tired of, Batman revealing his identity. In a lot of these movies, he's telling them who he is. Stop this. Please stop this. Okay? But yeah, a little bit too much bat simping. And even Alfred, I love the actor that plays Alfred, but even he was like, hey, did you guys have grandkids yet? Shut the fuck up, Alfred. Go serve me some tea. Okay? Like, a little bit too much. A little bit too much of this. It was like, because I rewatched it the other day, and I love this movie to death. But I was like, dude, I mean, even he had to let her know, could you shut up for a minute? He had to let her know that. Shut up. We've only been together for one night. Jesus Christ. And even at the end, I love that line at the end. I got to go to work. Leave me alone. I got shit I got to do. Maybe later we can talk about having brunch. But right now, people are dying. People are dying right now. I got to save the day. I got to go to work. Love that line. All right. Love the movie. Rob.
Okay. So love this Batman movie. A lot of great action sequences. For the time that it came out, a lot of this stuff was just groundbreaking. I mean, the special effects in this movie still holds to today. The Batmobile is my favorite Batmobile of all the Batman movies.
Yeah.
This Michael Keaton did an excellent job. I do remember all the hostility towards him being selected as Batman. I remember that, and he just killed it. It's amazing how a lot of these actors get criticized when they get picked for a role. Nobody gives them an opportunity, and then when they see them, they finally fell in love with them. Same thing happened to Ben Affleck. Same thing happened to Gal Gadot. You know what I mean? So this movie made me a huge Batman fan. I'm talking I was 12 years old when this movie came out, and I was telling one of my streams the other day, we were talking about Batman, and I said how after this movie came out, I was wearing Batman shirts, Batman hats. I was wearing even a fucking fanny pack with a Batman sign in front of it. I mean, I was all batted out. And one of the things I love about this movie is not only it's a very dark movie, but it does have some pretty funny moments that actually work very well, despite the tone and the ambiance. Jack Nicholson obviously provides a majority of that, but even when you first meet Bruce Wayne, very charming. This is why Michael Keaton is probably my favorite Batman, because he does both Bruce Wayne and Batman very well. He does them both very well, and I like when he first meets Vicky Vale, you could tell he's into her, and he's got the smile. He's being the playboy that he is, cracking jokes, but there's still a sense of humility there, despite the fact that he's a big time rich billionaire playboy. And then, but you get to see that dark side, that tragic past, that's more impactful in this movie than it's been in any other movie after this. Not only because they've overdone it, but just because the way they link it to the Joker, I guess that's one of many origins you can go with, but they decided to do that for this movie. Jack Nicholson does an excellent supporting role, but what I like about Jack Nicholson's role is he's so gravitas in this movie, but when he's with Michael Keaton, he reins it in. He doesn't steal the light. It's almost like he understands that Batman's a star, And when I have my moments alone, I'm going to steal the camera. But when he's on there, I mean, maybe people would disagree, but I just kind of feel like there was a certain sense of professionalism that Jack Nicholson brought to this role that I don't think a lot of people recognize. Because when you have a role like that, it is very easy to steal every scene you're in, even with the main star. Heath Ledger did that, and that's not a bad thing because at the same time, I also think that Christian Bale is the worst Batman ever. I get a lot of criticism for that, but to me, he is the worst Batman. What made
100% agree.
What made those movies good was everything surrounding Christian Bale. So, but this movie was groundbreaking. I remember when I went to see it, you had never seen some of the things done that were done in this movie. The Batmobile alone was a feat that was a success. You never saw any cars like that in cinema. Anything remotely close, and it holds up to this day. I would drive this over the Tumbler any day of the week. I really would. So I think everything about this movie is great. Much like Superman, it is hard to find anything negative about this movie. If I had to nitpick, the only thing would be is that the ending, you always expect this big fight between the villain and the good guy, but this good guy obviously overpowers the villain. I think that's one of the reasons why that one henchman kicked the shit out of Batman before he got there, But and the music is good too. Again, I know what I was saying about the Superman music, but that's not to knock this music. It's just that one is more iconic, but that doesn't take anything away from the soundtrack or the sound score of this movie is fantastic. Soundtrack, that leaves a lot to be desired. I like Prince. I don't like his songs in this movie.
Trust.
And lastly, I would say that the final action sequence with the Batwing was my favorite part. And it's when he goes up and he rotates the ship to dive, and you see the bat signal against the moon. Oh, look at that! You got it. That Batwing design is still my favorite bat plane of all the ones we've seen. It's better than the one in Batman versus Superman. It's better than the shit they came up with neon lights later. The Batwing, the Batmobile, Batman, the suit, everything. And of course, the iconic line that they repeat over and over now, I'm Batman. And no one did it better than Keaton. And as much as I loathe Batman movies now because they're played out, this movie I will never get tired of. And I just love it. It's a fantastic, fantastic adventure with a solid story, great casting. I really have no complaints at all.
Nice. Frank, let's see here. There was a comment here. Thanks, Simon, for the donation for supporting the channel. He says, is it me or was there a rumor regarding Batman that Robin was supposed to be in the film or he's supposed to get killed? Have you heard anything?
Yeah, I knew anything about that's a rumor. That is a rumor. That was never the plan.
Okay, copy that. All right, Chaos.
Okay, me. Okay, here we go. Batman, I remember it was a big fucking deal. This was like back in the day, like when blockbusters were such a big deal. I remember everybody in school was like, did you guys get tickets to Batman? You're going to see Batman. And oh my God, Batman's coming. It's going to be amazing. We were so hyped for Batman. And luckily the movie lived up to expectations. It was a fantastic movie. It was just a wonderful, exciting film, really well made. I guess we all had the fucking soundtrack, but yeah, the Prince music is. I would call it a negative. But I like Vicky Vale. I mean, I was a big Kim Basinger fan. I remember one of my fondest memories is being able to rent 9.5 weeks and by myself and enjoying that film. But I love Michael Keaton too. I was a big fan of his stuff from Dream Team, Mr. Mom, and I was not aware that people didn't like him. I was not aware that people were like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "Oh shit, the guy from Dream Team is Batman." Okay, cool. I thought he did a great job. I think he's amazing. I think he's everybody's kind of favorite Batman. Like he kind of captures it all. And I guess you look at him and you don't think, well, he can't really pull off badass action hero, but he does a good job. I mean, I think the suit does half the work and obviously the choreography, but I love him. I think he's great. I'm excited to see him return in the Flash movie. And funny enough, it's kind of ironic that we're doing this right now because they just announced Joker 2 is happening.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Interesting.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's happening. The script is being written right now. So, yeah. So yeah, Batman is far from dead. I'm not very excited for the Robert Pattinson version. I think that's going to be kind of a disaster.
Rob hopes.
No, there's no way it's going to be a good movie.
I secretly hope it fails miserably. I'm tired of. I love Batman, but I'm also tired of seeing him on screen so much with all the great DC characters out there.
Yeah, no, there's no way the movie's going to do well. It already has too much negative press. Even the studio's like the director isn't happy with it. Apparently, it's not going to do well. The trilogy has already been abandoned. So we'll see what happens. They'll throw it out, and it'll be one of those DC sucks again kind of things, which is unfortunate because it's my favorite. If I had to pick a side, DC is my favorite. But I don't know. Batman, fucking stellar movie, amazing film. And again, these two movies are so important because Superman showed you the light side. Batman is the darker side. DC is, of course, turned more towards the darker side, which is fine by me. I like that too. But they're very important. They're almost templates for superhero movies going forward. So, without a doubt, whoever wins, we both win. You know what I mean? It's like whoever wins, we lose. It's like because they're both amazing movies and they should be celebrated. I don't have as deep a connection with Batman, but I enjoy the hell out of the movie.
Nice.
I hate the sequels though. I honestly I don't like Batman Returns. And let's not talk about the other ones.
Love that Joker. They've been using Brand X.
New and improved Joker products.
He's amazing. But he's basically being Jack Nicholson. Like that's just him. They just put makeup on his face and go.
Oh man. Awesome. Well said. I still think he killed it. Though. All right, Tony. Tommy, what do you know about?
I don't know anything about that. Really? Well, how about a little you and me? Oh, you're insane. I thought I was a Pisces. Come on.
Wow.
Where does he go? Wonderful. Oh.
I have a great memory with this movie too. Not so much for my cousin because we were waiting for him to go to see this movie. And I went with my dad. My dad, I don't think I've ever seen another movie with him in the movie theater after this, but he wanted to take me to the movies. So we were waiting for my cousin, and my cousin, they were taking their time, and I don't know where they were, and we went without him. And I came back and was able to brag about how good the movie was and everything. And he cried, of course. And I just remember thinking like it was great. And I've watched this so many times over the years. I even remember in the beginning where you're like with Bugs Bunny, like when you were, it's like popcorn, check, soft drink, check.
Wow.
Warner Brothers ball cap, aha. You can't watch a Warner Brothers movie without a Warner Brothers ball cap.
Oh my
Well, listen,
God.
Doc, what if they ordered a Warner Brothers ball cap so they had it next time? Well, here's all you have to do, folks. Just send for this.
Oh, shit.
The new Warner Brothers catalog. And then I know the whole thing. Like I've seen it so many times. And never order anything out of it though. But
yeah,
I remember like the commercials for like the diet, just for the taste of a Diet Coke ones, and I, on the other hand, though, like the Prince soundtrack with it because I think that song Trust is perfect for what's going on. Where he's like, hubba, 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 money, money, money. Who can you trust? Me? I'm giving away free money. And where is the Batman? He's at home washing his tights. Yeah, it's like, because he's throwing out this money, you got to trust the guy, right?
Yeah.
It's like he's, I think the songs fit, maybe they're a little corny at times, but like I think they fit perfectly with Jack Nicholson and he's again, this is another rendition. I like seeing all different types of Jokers. He's probably my favorite Joker. Heath Ledger is my other favorite Joker, but I think if you just cut every scene out of The Dark Knight that has Batman in it, the movie would be better. Just Heath Ledger the whole time, like he's great.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Jack Nicholson. I used to watch this constantly and quote everything in it. I had the I never had the Batmobile, but it is my favorite Batmobile. I also like Batman Returns one because it can turn into that shell. I know it does it in this too, but like it's like different in the other one. Plus it gets taken over from the Penguin and he takes it through a rampage. But the Batwing, I used to have that toy, and you had the trigger and it would shoot out things, and it had like the grapple thing in the front. And to this day, I can't help when I'm driving around. Like if I have something, I'll go. It's like so. It's such a great song, such an iconic soundtrack. The ending. I don't know how many people have ever just gone.
That ending is the birth of movie conspiracy theories.
Is it?
Yeah, because of the death notes. People were like, "Oh, he didn't really die." People were saying he jumped out of like a fake suit halfway down, and or that it's crazy theories came from that.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Oh yeah, I remember.
That's funny.
I again, like he does. Batman does kill in this, which Samurai pointed out, which I never really thought of. Like I just thought he, because you don't actually see them dying, but you see they're probably going to die. So, but like I really can't say anything negative about this. I've watched, like I said, so many times. And there's other thing too. Like I like Michael Keaton as Batman and Bruce Wayne. Well, I like
Kilmer?
Val Kilmer.
Oh, okay.
I like him as Batman, but not as much Bruce Wayne.
Oh, his Bruce Wayne is so sad.
Yeah, and then George Clooney, forget it. But and everybody goes on about the nipples in that movie. I never cared, but I don't know. It's a great movie. I have such a great memory for it. I could watch it now and love it. I'm a DC fan as well. Flash is actually my favorite. But nice. I mean, not that I don't like Marvel, but like I've always just gone right to DC. And Affleck is actually my favorite other Batman. Like I love the darker Batman.
He's my second favorite.
Yeah, he's hugely underrated. Yes,
he's very, very underrated. And he's another one. A lot of people said, "Oh, what do they call him? Batfleck." And that it's like, give him a chance.
Yeah,
and
he came a long way from Daredevil. That's what I kept telling people.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I have nothing negative to say about it, to be honest.
All right,
my whole history with this movie is positive thoughts.
Nice. All right, Frank.
Yeah, I have one of my most memorable movie-going experiences with this film. I went to see it at Oakland Grand Theater opening night, Friday night, and I remember showing up and I saw that huge line of people waiting in line just to buy tickets. I was like, wow. And then there's all these people in costume, the Joker makeup, Batman costume. And then once I got in, found a seat to sit down. Every time someone with the Batman costume walked down the aisle, people would cheer and applaud. It was wonderful. And then we have this organ player, and they have this organ player who plays organ every Friday, Saturday night at the Grand Lake. So it was just a fantastic movie-going experience, and people were cheering, laughing at all these lines. Like, I still remember, that line when Jack Nicholson, Jack Nicholson's mistress said, "You look fine," and then he turned around and said, "I didn't ask." And that whole theater just went like, "Ooh!" And then every time he uttered those lines, where did he get this wonderful toy? People clapping, cheering. Yeah, I had a great time watching this film, and like some of you mentioned, that Batwing sequence, that's like great stuff. And yeah, I mean, this is an iconic film. This is like Light and Dark. It is the dark side of a superhero movie. It's really the first dark superhero movie, and it broke a lot of ground. The art design, fantastic. This shot, amazing. I loved it. This cathedral, this entire cathedral sequence is just gothic. Really nicely done. The special effects, the arts, the production. And linking, Joker to the killer of Batman's parents. I thought that was a really nice touch. And I like how it wasn't really revealed until almost like 2/3 into the film. Then you found out, now they're linked. And that line when Batman said, "I'm going to kill you," and then Joker said, you idiot, you made me. Remember? That line still gives me the chills. That's right. Batman made Joker, and then he said, well, I made you, you made me. So there goes that link. They're really interconnected. They're really, the different flip side of the coin. Batman is the other side of Joker, and vice versa. So to me, at that time, that was like shocking stuff. But yeah, I mean, apart from some quirky humor thing, and also I didn't like the guy who played the other reporter. What was his
Knox.
name? Robert Wool. Knox.
Poor
Knox. Yeah,
Poor
I didn't
Knox.
like that guy.
Yeah.
I thought he exaggerated a bit too much.
Poor Knox.
I know, poor Knox. I don't really have much opinion on Kim Basinger. I thought she did fine. But yeah, and some of the quirky humor, like check his wallet. Remember when he got shot down? So this things, all these like stuff came out of nowhere that I really kind of like. I mean, it's just so unexpected,
Yeah.
And then Elfman's score, amazing score. The opening, that whole opening credit, you don't realize there was actually the Batman logo until the very end. That review, I mean, it's like, wow, it takes your breath away, man. So yeah, iconic film definitely.
Nice.
Although I do slightly prefer Batman Returns a little bit more than this film, and it's only because that film is even darker than this one. I felt
you're not alone. Actually, that's actually been changing recently. Some people actually slowly they're liking Returns over.
And I also like Batman Returns winter setting. I thought it was just perfect.
Yeah, that is good.
Setting, with the snow and the stuff, and then that whole entire sequence at the amusement park at the end. That I thought that was very well done. And then there's all these. I mean, it's much more menacing, that film. I thought than this film. And there's also like sometimes there's certain way that lines are carried out in that film also, like in the amusement park, that the one of the girls says, there's something's approaching, very big, very dark, that sort of thing, that wings approaching. I love that kind of stuff. I just felt that film is a bit even darker than this one.
It is,
and it was and it kind of like reveal my inner love for everything dark and all these dark undercurrents in superhero movies. So, but yeah, no question about it. This is an iconic film, just like Superman, and it's like dark versus light, and
nice.
We really have no complaints. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, one of my favorites is one of my favorite parts is, why didn't anybody tell me I had one of those things?
Bob
Gunn.
Poor Bob. Gonna need a minute or two alone, boys.
I know.
I got a Bob action figure.
You do?
Oh.
Yeah, I did.
That's hilarious.
There's a thing that I don't know. It's like a little kind of Easter egg thing that when the Joker's spray painting all those paintings, and there's that one he goes, "Leave this one, Bob. I kind of like it."
Yeah.
That painting is in the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know how you say his name. Jacqueline.
Oh, really?
Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix is a little in a frame above his TV.
Oh, wow.
That same
Awesome.
painting. So it's like a little
Easter egg.
I was like how when he was flipping over, Vicky Vale's portfolio, he said, crap. Ooh,
No, that's good work.
That's good.
The skulls,
Yeah.
the bodies. I don't know if it's art, but I like it. Yeah, good stuff.
like
John?
Michael Keaton in that part too, where he flips out the poker.
Let's get nuts. Thanks, John, for the dono. John says he loves this Batman movie and that it led to the best animated Batman series. I would have to agree. And I heard they're actually trying to bring back the animated series on HBO Max. So good luck with that.
Samurai,
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
we were doing the Joker is played by Kirk Douglas.
I'm not an animal.
That wasn't Jack Nicholson. That was
well, I was the guy that was trying to do Timothy Oliphant, and it turned into Donald Trump. So I'm not here to
do it.
I'm not here to do accurate impressions. It's
or
all
Burt
fun.
Lancaster.
There you go.
Also
Sumo.
Yo, I'll keep it short and sweet.
That's what she said.
Yeah. So, just like Superman, I mean, I saw this one about the same time Rob did. He was about 12 years old. I was about the same age. My uncle took us to go to see it at a theater. This is like one of the old school theaters, where it's like down a regular strip of shops. It's somewhere in Alhambra or in that vicinity area. And we waited in line for like 3 hours, man, just waiting to get in to see this movie.
Wow.
And just the sheer joy of sitting there. There was no trailers before the movie started.
Ooh.
And then all of a sudden you see the Warner Brothers logo and it goes dark.
Ooh.
And you got that music starting to play, and I'm like, whoa, okay, this is gonna be cool. And just watching the whole intro, and then just when you get to that movie, it's like it just hits you really good, man. It's such a good movie. I mean, just the dark humor in it. Again, the practical effects that Tim Burton rolled out in this movie were just mind-boggling. Even though he had some minimal animation done here and there with the practical effects, like the Joker falling. As he fell deeper, you could tell it was a cartoonish Joker, right, falling down to his death, and then just overall the action sequences, the museum scene was just epic for me. And then, of course, all the amazing things you can quote from this movie is just ridiculous, right? I mean, you can watch Superman and say, okay, you know what, Superman, I remember this, but with Batman, you pretty much can remember the entire movie word for word. And like I said, this one for me was very special to me, and Nicholson just killed it. And
Nice.
My number one guy.
Was it?
It always sounded like, remember, you are my number one, and I. It always sounded like an I for some reason. When you put subtitles on, it says guy. It's like, what? You gotta love.
I thought it was "and I" when I was
I think
younger.
it says guy if you put
Guy,
the subtitles on.
It makes sense, but like,
yeah.
But it sounds like he always says
"and I."
one of my favorite jokes was sorry, real quick, when they were
Oh, go
inside
ahead, Tom.
Bruce Wayne's museum, and they were looking at the different armors, right? And then when Knox looks at him, he goes, "This must have been King of the Wicker People," and he goes, "Oh no, that's 16th century Japanese." And he goes, "Well, how do you know?" And he goes, "Because I bought it in Japan."
Great as Bruce Wayne. Yeah, he's great.
Okay.
Poor Knox.
Ready?
Wasn't the guy who played Alfred was the same one in every one of the Batman movies? Same with what was his name? The cop. Sorry, we're going through a tunnel.
You talking the cop?
Oh,
Yeah,
you're talking about
Dingle?
Gordon, Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, they were in
The
the
same guy who
sequels,
played
yeah.
Gordon was in all the movies in all these Batman, and so was Alfred.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alfred was played by Michael Gow.
Michael
Gow.
I think he's my favorite Alfred.
He's great.
Like, I like him a lot. I guess because I started with him, and then when I saw him in Sleepy Hollow, I was like, "That's Alfred."
But didn't he play the butler to Val Kilmer in Top Secret?
I've never seen Top Secret.
Yeah, me either.
Highly recommend you watch Top
Highly
Secret.
recommend
It's really funny.
Are we ready for me?
Go for it.
When I was growing up, Superman was already over. All the Superman comics were either Red Kryptonite or fantasy episodes. They were just, it was over. So I lived on Batman. I loved Batman. And in 1966, on the TV show, I don't know if any of you saw the original commercials for the Batman TV show. The original commercials were incredible. A voice came on and said, "The wheels are humming. The Batman is coming." And you just saw the wheel of the Batmobile with the symbol moving very quickly. And I was so thrilled. I don't know what I did that week, but I did something wrong to the point where my father said, "You can't see the premiere of Batman." And I was just like, I started crying and ripping my hair out that I had at that time. And and my brother, who usually couldn't care what happened to me, intervened on my behalf and said, "Let Rick watch the premiere. You can take away something else of his tomorrow." So he let me watch the premiere, and I was like, oh, so excited, so excited. Then I saw the premiere. This was me when the premiere started. This is me when the premiere ended. It was that campy crap. And again, even then, I wanted my heroes to be real. I didn't want them to be campy. And so that led me into, first when they said Tim Burton was going to do it, I sort of went, oh, that might be good. And then when they announced that Michael Keaton was going to star, I loved it because even then, by then I had already been working for Atlas Comics. I already created comic books. I already worked on comic books. And I always wondered what it would be like if Batman grew up and he wasn't 6'5", full of muscles. He just grew up as a normal guy. What would he do? That was Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton grew up to be just a normal guy who had to become something else. He was the only Batman actor I can remember that really needed the suit. Everybody else was handsome, 6'5", muscular. They didn't need the fucking suit. But he did. And he used that suit specifically. And one of the reasons it worked so well, if you showed all those clips again, where he moves samurai, you'll notice he can't move his neck.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That thing was not made so he could turn his head.
Mm.
Had to move his entire body. That's why in the fight in the alleyway with Bob and the other henchmen, that was the first time I ever really saw kung fu in an American movie, not a Chinese movie. He didn't make fists. He did it all open hand because he couldn't move his head. They made the same mistake in Batman Begins. Again, they had plotted out all these fight scenes, and then they couldn't do them because, again, they gave him a suit where he couldn't move his neck. And here, Burton knew how to do it because Burton had been model animating for his entire life. He had made all these model animated shorts for himself and for Disney. And so once he got this Batman character, he said, all right, this is how I'm going to do it. And he was perfect. And I also loved it because, here we go. Detective Comics, the 50th anniversary issue. The issue where Bane breaks Batman's back. 50th anniversary. And for some reason, the editor of Batman liked me. He had me involved. So in the back of that issue, they had tribute. People of note pay homage to Batman. And for some reason, what doesn't belong in that issue? Well, I am in that issue for a full page, where they not only give me the illustration, but they give me the Bob Kane illustration at the bottom. So once again, you guys are stuck because I'm going to be reading from the Book of Rick. In cartoons, there's something called the Bugs Bunny moment, wherein the Oscar-winning rabbit stops dead in his tracks, looks at the audience and screams, "What am I doing?" Not too long ago, this company did their own version of that, which could be more accurately termed the DC Wait a Minute. Therein, writers who were still not slavishly worshiping Stan Lee's shadow realized that comics were their own unique medium, not a movie storyboard or a novel with drawings. Batman has prospered by this. Creators with passion and compassion saying, wait a tick, what would it really be like to be in a guy in blue tights who kicks people in the face? Unlike Superman, who can never really become sophisticated until they figure out exactly why no one recognizes him just because he puts on a pair of glasses, Batman is a natural for maturity. First, he's supra-human, not superhuman. If any of us worked out 8 hours a day for 20 years, we could be as powerful as he. But second, we couldn't be Batman because he fights to bring his murdered parents back, which makes him an intrinsically tragic character. And like all intrinsically tragic characters, from the ninja to Dracula, from Mad Max to Rambo, from Hamlet to Darth Vader, he's fascinating to good artists and audiences alike. Now, for a nickel, I'll tell you a way to get around the glasses of Superman problem. That's what I wrote in there, and I'll be happy to tell you about the Superman thing. But yes, what we have here is a character who is intrinsically flawed, who is doing the right thing for the wrong reasons, up against, as you pointed out already, his yin-yang. We've got his yin against the Joker's yang. He creates the Joker. But throughout my entire life, I was always infuriated by the Joker. And not so much because he existed, but because Batman didn't kill him. Because so many innocent people were destroyed because he doesn't take Joker out. He doesn't put him permanently away. So in this movie, he does. The Joker didn't just kill it. Batman killed Joker. And I couldn't have been happier. But I also couldn't have been happier because I didn't have to wait in line. At that time, I was very good friends with a gentleman, the late, great Mike Robb, who ran the most successful comic book stores in Connecticut called the Dream Factory. And he wasn't going to just stand online and go to the premiere of Batman. He rented the theater and brought the entire staff and all his friends and all the employees as his guests to see the premiere of Batman in Connecticut, including me, who sat next to him. And when that bat plane went up in front of the moon to create the bat signal, he leaned over to me and whispered, "Haven't you been waiting your entire life to see that?" And so finally, because this basically was the second serious, well, this was the first serious superhero movie. Even though they had humor in it, all these characters played it real. It was all verisimilitude. There was no character who was an Otis. Everyone existed. The sycophants, the Bob, who allowed the Joker to kill him. You know, a lot of people like that. There were thousands of them on the Capitol steps on January 20th or 6th or whenever it was. So yeah, all of these guys were real, and everything worked. And by the way, the Prince songs had a very specific purpose that it paid off. Yeah. Do we care about the Prince songs? I like the Prince song. But, as they say in Rocky Picture Horror Show, we didn't build him for you. There was another audience they were trying to attract, and Prince got that audience in. Mm-hmm. And it was very successful. And it also worked very well for what Tim Burton was doing. And by the way, I'm never going to choose a side between DC and Marvel when I can have both. So I'm not an or person. I'm an and person. I like, the only thing I care about is if it's good or great. That's all I care. Right. I mean, I've seen bad Marvel movies. I've seen great Marvel movies. Thankfully, there are a lot more great ones than there are bad ones. But I've seen a lot of bad DC ones. But I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to see all of them. I'm going to go see the Robert Pattinson. Why not? I give him a shot. I'm not going to make my judgment before I see it. But it's Batman. Of course, I'm going to go see it. And by the way, also I might mention, I feel that Batman Returns would have been great if they had simply chosen one villain, not two. People keep, after Batman Returns, a lot of people made the same mistake. They put more than one villain in it. Use one villain. If it had been just Batman and Catwoman, that would have been genius. It would have been respected as everything else. And save the Penguin for the next movie and concentrate on him in that one. That would have been awesome. But in any case, let's see. Anything else I need to say? Batman, haven't even waited your entire life to see the Joker killed it. Always wondered what would happen. No, that's pretty much it.
All right.
Yeah. Batman.
Okay.
It's time to vote. All right. Rob, who's going to win today? Who you got, son? Who you got your money on? Who you got it on?
This is really, really hard because these are two great movies. And, oh, man. When I look at these two movies, I kind of compare them to two cycles of my life. Batman is like me in my 20s. I'm single, I'm womanizing, you know what I mean? This is when I was younger and a lot thinner and had hair. So I was, a lot better looking back then, and I was doing the Playboy life and this and that. And then Superman represents my current life, which is accomplishment, my children, my love, my desire to move forward and provide and take care.
Mm-hmm.
Say it again.
And both of those things are very important, because you need those 20s experiences to grow up and get to where you are currently. So, but I have to say, this moment in my life now is the most precious thing to me. And because of that, I got to go with Superman.
All right. Soups. Soups, there it is. All right. Chaos.
Soups, there it is.
Superman.
There you go. Soups for chaos.
Yeah.
Representing Tony.
Well, I'll make my answer very long, and just so keep everybody sitting here. Batman.
Batman. All right. All right. Frank, who you got?
Well, both are iconic films. Like I said, one represents light, the superhero in the light, and superhero dark. But considering how iconic the Superman movie was, and like I said, without Superman, we wouldn't have all these other superhero movies that came afterwards, and also the fact that I found myself liking Batman Returns a bit more and more over the years. I would have to go with Superman, and also not a plug or anything. I do want to let you guys know I really enjoy reading this Superman Smashes the Klan comic book from Gene Yang. Is a wonderful comic book. I highly recommend this. But and also the epicness of Superman, all these like different cuts and stuff. It's like always great to go back and revisit and see all these different scenes. So
I thought you were gonna go Batman. Okay.
Yeah, I have to tip my hat a little bit off more to Superman.
Okay. Sumo.
I am Team Batman.
All right.
Again, growing up, I watched Batman all the time. It's more memorable to me as opposed to Superman, and it was more intriguing to me for the storyline and the pacing of the movie was just really good.
All right.
It's Batman.
Copy that. 3-2 right now. Rick?
Well, I'm not Rick yet. I'm FJ DeSanto right now.
Oh, that's right.
And FJ sent me his vote.
Okay.
And also what he would have said. I don't know if I have much to add about the respective productions, but I will say that I think both are masterpieces. I think Superman is so good and so well made that no one has ever been able to get Superman right or as good ever since. It is almost now impossible to deviate from the character successfully. It was made at the most perfect time it could exist as something grounded. Those first two movies are incredible. The benchmark is seemingly untouchable to the point where now they are going to try and reinvent a new version of the character. It's a real testament to Dick Donner, who knew exactly how to take all the best parts of the Superman and present it in a very modern context. Without this movie, there's no Chris Nolan Batman movie. Now, Batman is an amazingly constructed cultural event. Don't get me wrong, it's a good movie, but its significance, not just to cinema, but to comic book movies in general, cannot be underestimated. Everything from the casting to the production design to the soundtrack to the merchandising is audacious and carefully curated to capture something that allows it to exist in a different stratosphere. Remember, at this point, all the world really had was the campy 1966 Batman. Without this movie, the comic book movie boom that has now lasted several decades doesn't happen. Whereas Donner wanted to show a Superman that existed in our world, Burton created a world in which Batman could exist. The world building, thanks to Burton and Anton Furst, is mind-boggling. Everything about it is daring, and I don't think anyone would have the balls to do something this drastic today. Both movies complement each other really well. While I think Superman is a better movie story-wise, I pick Batman in this because of the impact it had as a cultural event on the legacy it has had since on cinema. And this is and FJ at that time was working for the producer of Batman, Michael Uslan. And so he's not doing it out of that, he's doing that. And again, I think you know what my vote's going to be, because to me, Superman, as wonderful as it was and what wonderful memories I had of it, was multiply flawed to me. Batman was not. So I choose Batman.
All right. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo. Check that out. Wow. I thought you were going to go Soups there.
It's interesting.
And FJ did Batman too. How awesome is that? That is pretty awesome.
I'd marry Superman. I'd fuck Batman.
For the money.
And in the suit or not? Luther and Joker.
Right. Oh, just really quick. This is what the internet voted for, just for fun, before I forget.
Oh wow.
There you go. 372 votes. There you go. So that's what the internet voted for. I got to make sure they get some shine.
As long as you fuck Superman and he doesn't fuck you, because then you're just dead.
All right. Love Superman. This has grown on me. I love it. I love it. But I got to go with that moment of being Little Samurai in the theater. That experience I will always cherish. Batman, baby.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And I knocked off the mic.
I was on a winning vote for once.
I knocked over my mic. Batman's the winner, baby. And Chaos, I know you got to go, brother. You got to bounce right now?
He's got a dip.
He's got to go.
Yeah. Well,
Go and dip.
The Vinegar Syndrome sales is about to drop in about less than an hour, and I'm going live, and there's a ton of stuff happening, so I've got to jump off. But this has been a blast.
Yeah, brother. We'll get you on the next one. Thanks again.
Yes,
Don't forget to subscribe to Master Chaos. Thanks, man.
Wow.
Thanks for hanging out.
Guys. Bye.
All right,
Sayonara.
all right.
You know, I used to have a poster of Jack Nicholson where he was on the beach doing that, like a luscious tan, those ruby lips and hair color, so natural. Only your Undertaker knows for sure. I had that, like, with him in the beach chair. He's going like that up until a few years ago, and it got ruined. But I used to have that in my room.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So going back to the merchandising that you guys were talking about earlier, I get it. When Batman came out, tons of T-shirts, tons of just memorabilia. But was there ever a T-shirt with the Joker that had the wonderful expression saying, "Never rub another man's rhubarb"?
I don't think I've ever seen one.
Like that.
I'm sure you could probably make it now or find it. Go to T-Screen.
I was okay with whoever won tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love both
honestly.
movies.
That's my
One
favorite.
of my favorite shows of all time was Smallville, and you know it was a little campy here and there, but I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Oh, Frank's got merch.
Yeah,
I
Frank.
just want to show you guys this
nice.
is, what I got from Sideshow Collectibles. This is the Michael
Oh.
Keaton Batman figure,
Mm.
and then this is the, the Japanese Joker, what was it, the comic book.
Man.
Yeah.
Killing Joke.
Sideshow
Yeah.
Collectibles
Killing
are
Joke, right.
amazing.
So these are like two of my favorite collectible action figures.
Yeah. Well,
What
Sideshow
about this?
Collectibles is like museum quality. It's really good.
Yeah.
Bo, one quick super chat before we wrap it up for today. Batman and Superman are the banner heroes for DC. To me, what is going on? Superman is great on screen, but Batman definitely owned the comics. Not even close thoughts. All right.
I do agree.
Well, that's debatable. I mean, there's so many fans of Superman comics out there. There's fans on both sides. Everyone's going crazy showing their stuff there.
If they could ever,
Like, oh,
if
fuck
they
it.
could ever get
Show-
the rights,
Sumo, grab something to show real quick. Do it.
if they could ever get the rights, I would like to
Godzilla.
see Batman versus Predator.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
go.
Did you see the fan film that was made a long time ago?
No,
Oh, it's amazing. It's years
I read
ago.
the
I'll
comic.
send it to you.
okay.
It's pretty good. But
I
yeah, I
just
would
saw
love a
Mandy.
movie.
I just watched Mandy last night. the first
Guys
time.
are going-
Cheddar Goblin.
Oh, this is a blast. Always fun. Oh, look at that. Ooh, nice Wonder Woman.
Ooh.
I like that. What? You got a Yoda hat? Yeah, that's my boy right there. Oh, well, this was a lot of fun. Thanks again, Frank. Thanks again for hanging out. Tony.
Thank you.
Thanks again, my friend. Rob.
Thank you.
We got Pickle Rick here. Pickle Rick. That's right. Thanks, Pickle Rick. And Sumo, thanks again, brother, for hanging out.
Pickle Rick.
Thank all of you badasses for hanging out.
Thank you.
With the Versus episode today. This was a lot of fun. These keep getting better and better. All these badasses and legends hanging out, talking about movies, which is what we love doing. And we may be doing something Saturday. We'll see. We may be doing the Drunken Master style Phat pickups live, baby. We may. It depends. Lady Phat Blood's still under the weather, so we'll see if that works out. Because I know you guys been, where's the next Phat pickups? We don't have that much, but we'll have enough to hang out with you guys and have some fun doing some Drunken Master style. That's right. Buy everything Eureka. Subscribe to Rob, Entertainment Talk Nation. Subscribe to Tony of the Dead. Sumo, you need to start doing some content.
Do not subscribe.
Well, this is a lot of fun. All right, guys.
My son has one, Reese.
Oh, he's got
Oh.
Critters. It's the Critters one. I love that. Oh,
No, I
I love
like
that. That's awesome. All right, this was a lot of fun. We'll see you badasses next time. And take care, guys. Keep watching movies.
Peace out.